This is a review of the ocean floor parts. If you are having trouble with this part of our oceans unit and you want a quick review, or it's just been a while since you've thought about the ocean floor parts, this video can help you. So first I'm going to look at the study guide, which is in your shared drive or share with me. You can just search ocean. And I'm going to go over each part. Then we're going to try a blank one together. And again, you can pause the video and try on your own. See if you can figure out the order, what comes first, next, then, and last, before I say it. So we're going to start with the continental shelf. The continental shelf is where the land ends and the water begins. So that's where the beach is. When the water meets the sand, that's that continental shelf. And it does keep going very, very slowly and gradually sloping downward until it gets deep enough that if I were to keep walking and walking and walking in the water, eventually I would get to a point where I could no longer stand. That is still part of the continental shelf because it's gradually sloped downward. Then I would get to a very steep drop-off, a sudden drop-off called the continental slope. If you've ever seen Finding Nemo, they talk about the drop-off and they go to the edge of that coral reef and they look down and there's a sudden drop-off. That's where the continental shelf met the continental slope, where it's a sudden steep hill. If I were riding my bike, the continental shelf would be like you're easily gliding down the hill. The continental slope would be kind of nerve-wracking. Oh my goodness, I might have to use my brakes or I might crash. That's the continental slope, a steep hill. The continental rise is where that edge of that slope meets the flat ocean floor. So that is where the hill is starting to taper off, even off, and start getting flatter and flatter until it ends up meeting with the abyssal plain. Abyssal plain literally just means flat. Plain means flat because the abyssal plain is just the flat bottom of the ocean floor. That is the true ocean floor. That's the bottom. There's nothing deeper than it except ocean trenches. An ocean trench is caused by a subduction zone. So that's when the two, and a convergent boundary. So it's when the two plates are coming together, but they both sink and cause this hole, this trench in the floor. And that is the deepest part of the ocean floor. There are volcanoes that are underwater. We've talked about volcanoes in our landforms unit where it's a convergent zone with subduction that causes magma to get trapped and then it turns into a volcano. Lastly, you have an ocean ridge. An ocean ridge is like a mountain underwater, and that's caused from a divergent boundary. So when two plates go apart, that is an ocean ridge. And you can kind of remember that like divergent divers are in the ocean, and that's that ocean ridge. Okay. So let's see if we can test our knowledge. Go ahead and pause the video here and see if you can figure out what A, B, C, D, and E are. If you've already paused the video and are ready to be given the answers, here are the answers. A is that first part of the ocean floor where it's gradually sloping. That is going to be our continental shelf. Followed by B, which is that steep slope. That is our continental slope. Next we have C, which is where our steep slope starts to even off. That's our continental rise. And D is that flat, true ocean floor. That's our abyssal plain. The only other part that we have is our E, that's that big hole that's in the ocean floor, and that's our trench caused by a convergent boundary, two plates coming together and sinking or subducting. Okay, that is the parts of the ocean floor. Rewatch this video anytime you need as we're going through the unit or as we get closer to any of our tests with oceans, and it will help you.